All right.
Welcome to Atlanta Falcons UK. Last game review and whole season review and every other shit that happened this season. So we'll see how it goes. But we got what we wanted. I always want to win, but I'm very, very, very content with the loss. Very, very. How's everyone else feeling? I think everyone must be on the same boat.
It did get scary when Hurst started catching touchdown passes.
Brian Hill breaking off that 65-yarder or whatever it was. I was like, no, but why? We haven't had a running game all year long. Why is it starting now? No, quite happy to have lost, to be honest with you. It's good.
Definitely. It was a bit of a battering in the end, wasn't it? I think we were not the way I wanted to go out. I'd rather lose, but at least we didn't blow a lead or anything like that. So positives, you can take the positives for once.
Learned our lesson.
Yeah. Jazzy, I think you've got your mic muted.
Yeah, how you doing? First time I've joined this, to be fair. Respect to you guys, everything that you're doing. Apology from the beginning. I've commented a few times, not joined one of these before, so now I was getting a bit worried when Hill went on that run. I was like, what's going on there? That's just crazy.
Because was it 60 some yards, was it?
Yeah. It's great, and then you think, no, somebody tackling him. And then
you need one of them Dan Jones moments when he just absolutely falls over, keeps falling.
Yeah.
That's the time. But in the end, I think we got what we sort of wanted, which is I always want to win a game, but I'm very content with the loss. And onto the draft. Well, onto the head coach and the GM first, don't it?
Starting with interviews as early as tomorrow morning, evidently.
Raheem Morris has already had his.
He has, and the Falcons.
Very long.
The Falcons' official Twitter released a statement midway through the game that they're going to interview San Fran's defensive coordinator, or they've been connected to him possibly as early as tomorrow morning as well.
I had an interview for NASA yesterday as well, a bit like Raheem Morris's. Not thinking I'm going to get it. So
I just hope it. I don't know. I can't. It like we've said for many weeks. It's everyone's got to go. It's got to be a fresh start. And Raheem Morris, the one you'd probably say you'd keep is probably Ulbrich.
Yeah.
But if Cotter's gone, I'm sort of happy. But I think it's just got to be a restart, get rid of everyone, and I think the fan base will sort of come together until the draft and when everyone's arguing against each other, quarterbacks, running backs, edge, blah blah blah.
I think we need to do just a complete reset. I think the defense has been okay the last few games. Think having a new coordinator come in, I think it will freshen it up.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I know statistically the defense has improved, but I don't understand this talk of we're so much better off than we were. We beat the hell out of some mediocre teams, and then we got crushed when it mattered. So I don't understand. I can't even see keeping Ulbrich. I say anybody connected to Dan Quinn's got to go.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree. I think everyone's got to go. I think everyone's got to be a start. But I think we'll see. I think it's got in the next week or two. I think there'll be the head. Well, obviously the GM first. But it's to me that the GM isn't going to pick their own head coach, which sometimes does happen at places. But obviously it doesn't look like it if they're already doing interviews for the head coach.
I think Blank's going to go. This is my guy to whoever the GM is. I hope the GM is Riddick who's the ESPN analyst.
Yeah.
Oh, the one who berated the Giants for not taking Dwayne Haskins. That Lewis Riddick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, good choice.
Oh.
Truth be told, I'm getting really we've been talking about this for weeks, right? We should have already had a GM by now. I mean, when you go into tomorrow, when you start interviewing head coaches, you're supposed to have your guy ready to go. This is reading really fishy to me. Rich McKay is starting to take too much damn power away from this team.
Well, we've been preparing for the playoffs.
What's that?
We must have been preparing for the playoffs.
Great. But no, I mean, like, it's just reading funky to me. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't have already made our hire. Like, the guys that we're going to interview, we've already looked at. And, we could be easily making a head coaching hire in the next couple of days. But it's reading to me like we're going to do things out of order. We're going to get a coach first, maybe, and then get a GM on the back end. It's weird.
It wouldn't surprise me if Rich McKay's the GM.
I pray to God that doesn't happen. But
knowing Arthur Blank, it would not shock me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have problems with McKay, don't they? I think Greg's mentioned it a lot. I think a lot of people have. He has too much sort of influence on everything. If he was going to start again, would you not just get rid of them all? Properly start again.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know what position is he in? Like what?
He's the vice president. Is that or actually president?
Yeah, he's like
executive.
basically Blank's right-hand man.
And he was brought into this position, from what I could tell, because Blank didn't have the balls to fire Dan Quinn himself. So he put Rich McKay in between those two to go, all right, well, if it's got to be happen, Rich can do it. But
he's been there for years. He's been there for years, though, hasn't he?
He's not been in the position that he's in right now.
Okay, but he's been at Falcons for years, and he was there with
Yeah. I think he's a New England guy, right? Like he came over with Dimitrov and the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, it looked like he got a lot of power, and now he's holding it. Like for my money, why haven't we hired Rick Smith already? I mean, he looked good. Everybody loves him. Yeah, he led Houston to a resurgence before Bill O'Brien just shit on him. There's no reason why we hadn't made a hire yet.
I think with Rick Smith in Houston, I think he had all the family issues, and then sort of being a GM took a back seat, and then Bill O'Brien went, "This is my time. See
My time to fuck it all up."
That trade with Miami is looking even worse by the minute. Not only did they own the first round this year, they own the second as well.
And they paid Tunsil a shitload of money.
Yeah.
I look at that. At least Dimitrov wasn't that bad that he did a Bill O'Brien.
No.
That's the one positive.
Bill O'Brien.
Pretty low bar.
I mean, to be fair, that'd be equivalent of like shipping off Julio and getting back I can't even think of a running back that would be bad enough to make. David Johnson's nothing at this point. To ship off DeAndre at that was just insane. I don't care how many fights you've been in. Make up with the dude.
Trading Julio for Todd Gurley. There you go.
There you go.
I am pretty sure when Bill O'Brien offered the Cardinals GM that deal, the Cardinals GM thought he was on heroin. I am pretty sure the Cardinals GM thought he was on heroin.
Definitely thought it was a parody email account, did he? Like one of those Nigerian Prince accounts.
It's gonna be. Hopefully, I want decisions tomorrow. I want something. I want Koo to sign a contract tomorrow. That's what I want. Anything can happen. I want him to sign the contract tomorrow. That'll make my week happier.
The only thing
any positives we got this year.
The only thing about the situation that we're in now is we don't get to wake up in the morning and hear Raheem Morris has been fired, because right now he's in the interviewing process. So we have to sit around and just wait.
He said after the game his interview went really, really well, and it was one of the longest he's ever had or so.
Great.
Why the
Positive
fuck are you
signs.
still here?
Mine with NASA went really well as well. I told you that before. I'm expecting the Apollo 17 mission to be
Anytime now.
rolled by me.
No, did you guys play that? They had that. I guess not really a game, but they had the head coaching matcher on ESPN last week or something, and you can flip through and look at who the best fits for every team are. And ESPN gave the Falcons a D with Bieniemy, a B with Byron Leftwich, and an A for Raheem Morris. And I went, "You're just high." There's no way.
All the media seem to love Raheem Morris. Like the amount of ex-players and then people for ESPN are all tweeting, but Raheem Morris must be the guy. They must be watching different games to I do. I know Red Zone's sometimes a bit behind you guys, but I'm not really sure what they're watching. So.
Yeah.
What did he end on? 4? Was it 4 for 7?
4 and 7. Yeah.
Well, we
we won the first 2 like 2 or 3 out of his first 4 or so. So that's quite a few losses as well towards the end.
Or something.
And also look at the quality of the wins that they got. Look at the quality of the team that they beat. You know, I'm not going to brag about beating Minnesota or Oakland. I'm just not.
Las Vegas.
Oakland, Las Vegas. Sorry, but I'm not like that was after Derek Carr. Apparently, his wife had a baby like the day of or the day after or something. So I mean, you know, who knows where his head was at? But
Derek Carr.
I don't. I'll never understand what Raheem Morris love. Like, I just don't get it. It's the same. I mean, everyone loved Dan Quinn for being a player's coach, and what did that get us?
Nowhere.
Basically, Raheem Morris is a sort of PR. He's a PR guy's dream because he gives the right. He's a quotable, and he's friendly with the media. That's it.
But he also won't call out his coaches. Like, he will throw his players under the bus time and time again. At first, I thought it was just like being tough on him, but no, man. Like, to not look up and say Dirk Cutter's fucking up this season, you lost it.
Can somebody educate me with American football compared to our football over here? Could we go to another club and say to the head coach, come and join the Falcons, and we'll pay you a shitload of money, and
I think you can now,
break your contracts, and does that ever happen?
No. Rarely do you see head coaches move. Like, you won't see anybody like poach a head coach out. Like, we're not going to run over, which we would never do that, but we would never run over to Sean Payton and try to bring him over. But we're allowed to tamper once seasons are done with anybody off their staff. It's just no one ever bothers with the head coach. They've already got their job.
It happened.
So that doesn't happen.
Not often.
I think the only one was Gruden, where Oakland gave up like first round picks and was like there's like $5+ million or something.
Christian, did you Belichick?
Yeah, it happened with Belichick because
that was the shadiest thing you're ever going to see, though, because he hadn't quite. It was either right after or right before he announced that he was going to take over the Jets, and he just left. I think he took over the job and then left.
Daniels did for the Colts.
He wrote his resignation on a napkin.
Yeah, so it was shady. So like you just don't see it. I mean, like, it's kind of like Doc Rivers in the NBA getting dealt in a trade recently. Like, it's rare.
I'm just thinking San Francisco haven't been very good this season.
If I hear one more thing about that fucking Shanahan playbook, I swear to God.
just thinking out loud.
I'd love to coach their defensive coordinator, man.
I wouldn't mind Brandon Staley at the Rams. He's done a hell of a job with them this year.
My bigger concern with that is that Sean McVay is still the one that calls the plays.
Yeah.
I like Dable from the Bills.
Staley's the defensive coordinator.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I looked at the Falcons thing that dropped. Yeah, I was thinking something totally different with the Rams. I was looking at the thing on I can't pronounce his name. Salah, I guess it is, maybe Salah something. They've been decimated by injuries this year, and they're like top 4 against the run and top 6 against the pass. I mean,
the fourth against the run, like you're saying, sixth in pass defense without the 2 best edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. That's not like the Dan Quinn situation that we got. I was jazzed when we got him, don't get me wrong, but really his situation in Seattle was just get the keys to the Ferrari and don't wreck the damn car. You know, he was not they were good. Pete Carroll was the reason. This is a very different situation. If we're going to get a defensive guy, I'm all in.
I don't. Yeah, for me, I'm not too bothered if it's a. Yeah, I'm not too bothered if it's a defensive or offensive coach. I don't think we had a defensive coach last time, head coach, and look how that turned out. I know we got to a Super Bowl, etc., but the defense it's been bad for several years. So I don't think it will matter. I think whoever comes in will obviously bring his guys with him or guys he wants to bring in. So I don't think it's a major thing.
Consistently good defense. I'm pretty sure in Matt Ryan's time with us, we've only had one in the top 10, and that was
2, I think.
One of them was the year we lost to the Eagles in the last minute. That was a top 10 defense. Can't remember the other one.
About 2010 or something. I don't know.
And both our last 2 coaches have been defensive, and well, clearly they can't get anything out of them.
I think it does feel a bit like the defense compared to the offense is getting a bit less investment. Like, granted, we've paid Grady. We got mugged by Dante Fowler.
He got a sack today.
When he got that sack, I was like, what a fucking knob.
$4 million a sack. That's what we're paying. $4 million a sack. What a man.
And was it Ulbrich or Morris who came out and said he needs to pick it up, basically?
Yeah, Morris called him out. And then Dante Fowler took a shot at him on
called
Twitter,
him out.
so it's going well there.
Morris called him out, didn't he, last week?
It's going to be a fantastic way to save some money by dropping his ass next year.
Yeah. It's always good when your big free agency signings taking shots at your interim head coach on social media. That's when you know it's been a great season.
He deleted the tweet.
When
he's got a big cap hit, I think.
Yeah.
Is it a 3-year deal?
Yeah.
2.
I think so, yeah.
2.
I'm not
2 years left.
2 years.
No,
left.
2-year total. But it was like 16. Was it 16 a year? Or was it?
He's got to
it's between 12 and 16. I'm not sure how it varies year to year.
I'll be fuming when he pulls out, not fuming, I'll obviously be buzzing. He'll pull out 10 sacks next year. We'll sign him again. He'll pull out 1 sack the year after.
We all said that about Vic and Tack, and they never did it either.
But the worst thing was about Beasley, though, is we obviously hoped he was going to be this big thing because he had that one big season, but he got about 5 of his sacks in one game. And it was just painful. I think the rest of his career with us, he averaged 1 every 5-6 games. It was so ridiculous like that. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it was those sort of numbers. It was insane. So I remember when we brought Adrian Claiborne back because he got 9 sacks as the third choice, but we forgot that he got 6 in one game against Dallas.
Against Dallas, yeah.
Against the backup offensive lineman, by the way. He really was advantage of him.
I think he was their third choice, if I'm not mistaken. Chad or Chaz Green or whatever he was called.
Yeah, and then they benched him for an even worse one, and we brought him back so he got double-digit sacks, and he got 6 or 6.5 in one game. I was like, yeah, we just ain't got.
Who's got our best number? Who's got our most sacks this season?
Oh, I dread to think. Probably Grady.
Grady's on 4. He's on 4.
Yeah.
I dread to think.
When you got to think about it, that's.
Got to think who the.
I'd throw money down.
What's really grim is we're having to think about it, and the highest number we think is still about 4. It's not like we've got loads of people on 9. It's not like we're fighting between 5 people, 8 or 9. We're like, he might have 3. Yeah, that's when you know you're. I mean, I'm sure partially it's scheme, but the players just don't look particularly good, do they? I'd never watch them and think, we're nearly there. I don't.
I think it's the thing having to dial up sort of alternative pressure instead of having a D line who you can say pin your ears back, go after the quarterback, and we've got you covered behind you. There's none of that because you've got Neil blitzing, you've got Dion, you've got is it Luke? I can't even pronounce his name. Luke. You've got them direct pressure. You've got the undrafted Mariner, who seems to be all right in spots, but I think it's all about developing, really.
We've got quite a raw secondary, and then you're also taking support away from those DBs by adding the linebackers into the blitz. You put a lot of pressure. I know AJ's had a pretty solid rookie year. But you put a lot of pressure on people like AJ when you're going, you've got no support, by the way. You're one-on-one all game because your support's having to blitz because our D-line's not being able to do anything on their own anyway. So you've got no safety help because the safeties are at the line.
We didn't get a sack last week, did we? And the defence was fantastic last week. I don't think we sacked Mahomes last week at all, did we?
Yeah, I think we got 1.
Did we?
He extends the play well, to be fair, Mahomes.
He played well last week. The defence can play well, but don't know. Notoriously,
I think tonight's
the defence turns up, the offense doesn't, and spot on.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. I think it's either one or the other at times. Apart from the first 5. To be fair, even the first 5 games, obviously we all went 0-5, but
yeah, the first 5 games, rivals put up ridiculous numbers, and then the defence starts to turn up, and then our offense nosedives. It's never ending pain, really, isn't it?
How long's left? 8 months to the season starts. That's a long time, isn't it? Should be able to get over it by then.
It could be a really quick time if we get this really great, exciting GM and a really exciting head coach, or it could be really depressing if tomorrow we announce Raheem Morris. We're like, that would be really good. Yeah.
Pick up Raheem, hire Rex Ryan, something like that. Yeah. I may actually put my stuff away for a few years at that point.
Make our CEO permanent general manager or so. It would be like, I'm not. I'd be like, nah. I'm just muting the team for a bit.
I think we should just go on.
I was just going to say, I feel like it does feel like we're looking at retreads. We're not going for someone new and inventive. I have that awful feeling that that's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to go try and test it or something.
Oh, yeah,
do you think we should go for a rebuild then? Complete rebuild?
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No.
What does everybody think? What does everybody think? Because I think no, because I can't. This is a difference again between our football and American football. To think you're going to wait 2-3 years before you're going to be any good is just I can't get my head around that. So, but what does everybody think? Rebuild or retire?
You physically can't rebuild right now with the situation we have money wise. I mean, to rebuild, you have to start with a new quarterback or be able to have a young enough quarterback to build around. We have neither. So, I mean, at this point, Matt's here for the next couple of years. You've got to try to win while he's here.
Yeah, I agree.
Our issue is, in a perfect world, let's just say, one of those Madden type scenarios where you can trade people and stuff like that, you would be looking at a rebuild. But whether the GM wants it or not, Julio and Ryan are here for at least one more year. The second year, we might be trying to get rid of them or trading them or cutting them, but they're here for at least one more year because you can't cut with that much dead cap. We ain't got enough money as it is. You can't then be getting rid of money and not actually having the player anymore. Everyone's like, oh, get rid of Ryan. But the issue is, get rid of his money. We still have the cap space. I mean, the cap hit. And we're then also going to have to pay a rookie on top of that as well. It's just, we ain't got the money to go full rebuild. So I think we're in that awful middle zone. We're not good enough to win. And got the money to rebuild.
Here's the thing about Ryan's dead cap in 2022. It's like 27 million. Next year, it's 2021 off season. It's like 50 million. So I can't see him being cut in either of those seasons. He's going to be here until he retires. Julio could be getting dealt in the 2022 off season. That would not shock me in any way, shape, or form. But he's here next year. And
what if you sign a quarterback in the first round? Their rookie contracts are quite they're reasonably good, ain't they? Does that go against all the cap as well?
Yeah.
It goes against cap space, but GMs know how much money they're going to have to save to be able to pay for the class. I mean, that's normal. The issue is, if you're not planning on trying to get rid of Matt at the end of next year, getting a quarterback right now is going to be kind of rough because you're already losing 1 year. You get a 5th-year option with a rookie and a first-round draft pick, but you're already losing a year. And if that's fine, but if you want to hold on to Matt for 2 more years, you're losing half their contract before they ever even snap.
I think if we draft a quarterback, it'll be the Falcons fans will sort of go like the Green Bay Packers fans did when they drafted Jordan Love.
I don't know. Our fan base hates Ryan.
They did, man. I was texting Danny and Cal both this. Justin Fields put on a hell of a show the other night, and I actually like that guy now because to get smashed and then throw 5 touchdowns, hell, you're awesome. I don't wish the reality of him being on the Falcons to Matt Ryan. It's disgraceful because every time he throws a pick, every time he takes a sack, the fan base is going to explode twice as hard as they always did. I don't want Matt to have to go through that.
Here's the thing. I don't think we're going to have to worry about Fields. He's going to the Jets, 2nd overall. I think that's practically guaranteed.
Jets have
I don't think Darnold's bad at all, and I don't know if Fields will make much of a difference because I still think the O-line's absolutely atrocious. Not many receivers to actually throw it to. But I think it's one of them where they're just like, well, take another quarterback and then see what happens. New GM. They've got a lot of cap space. I think that's their positive. So they can build.
Yeah.
I think
rebuild.
The Jaguars
there was
are
one
in a
thing
great
Christian
position.
said a few weeks ago, which is really interesting, like about the corner from Alabama going after him, because theoretically he's going to be there in and around the top 10. So if someone offers us a ridiculous trade for whether we have the third or fourth pick, and we still have the opportunity to pick up Surtain, but we can get ammunition for this draft or future drafts, I think it's gravy, really.
I'd be very happy to trade down as long as we stay in the top 12 or 13. I don't want to go too far back because we've got a chance to take someone we think might be a big difference maker. But the issue is, like we've discussed in the group chat, is the best player available at 3 or 4 is realistically going to be the offensive tackle. And that involves, it's doable, but you've got to reorder then the entire offensive line, and that's not easy to do at a minute's notice. You've got 2 young people on the right hand side. You've got effectively next year Matt Hennessy will be a rookie, because I'm not counting 2-3 games with enough experience to say he's actually played. So your entire right hand side is really inexperienced anyway. To then reshuffle him for another rookie, it's going to be quite risky. So
can that Pina Sewell? I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, so forgive the pronunciation. Could he play left guard?
It's kind of big, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an absolute unit.
Real quick, I have to jump off faster than I normally do. The one thing I'll say about the cornerback, we've been living since Thomas Dimitrov got here off of trying to stack cornerbacks and having jack shit on the defensive line, and it's been getting us eaten up forever now. We can't, like, the best cornerbacks in the world can only cover for so long. So, we've got to focus down on getting a pass rush. It's just plain and simple. AJ Terrell's great. I think there's enough in the back, in the secondary, maybe not safety wise, but at least cornerback, enough to get by if you actually create pressure.
So, 5 to 10 seconds, the coverage can really be asked to stop every play. After that, the second Mahomes runs out the pocket and it's the 13th second, you're like, how is someone supposed to keep up with Tyreek Hill for 13, 15, 20 seconds when he's zigzagging all over the field? It's not going to happen, is it? So.
Right, and that's the point. Like, that's why our defenses die in the fourth quarter. They're exhausted. They've been having to cover man-to-man or something for so long, or they play zone and they get eat up the entire game either way. You just can't deal with that way. So going early on cornerback, just to me, it just can't be the case.
No. You just need anyone who can create pressure, whether that's from linebacker or the actual defensive line position. Just anyone who creates pressure is just
kicker. I don't care, man. Kicker, punter, anybody that can maybe hit a quarterback.
Put anyone in there who can do it.
How about Puku at defensive end? Who knows?
Who's got it, man? I think he can do it.
Micah Parsons,
I think
the linebacker who played for Penn State last year. What does everyone think of him?
I've seen decent, from what people are saying, he looks decent, but it's that thing you can't tell. College to NFL is a completely different beast, but he does look really good.
I think it's doing it's like.
IJ Terrell was rubbish. Everybody thought
he's done
right.
Yeah, Terrell, everyone thought would have been.
Yeah, no one was happy about AJ.
He's done all right.
The only person who said it wasn't a reach.
But I think, do we need a linebacker? I think our linebacker core is not that bad at the moment. I think it's quite good. I think if we was gonna get someone, I would go for the edge like Greg or like what most people are saying, or another corner. But then if we do, what did we mention on the chat the other day? Who's probably the best edge out there?
Greg Rousseau.
Man, he's not a number 4 pick from what I won't claim to watch loads of college. I read up on college a lot. I don't watch it myself, but from what I've read and other people said, he's not a number 4 pick in terms of all-round talent. So it would be a bit of a reach.
He's got all the tools to start, but he's very raw. That's the best way to describe Greg Rousseau. He's very raw around the edges. He needs to be molded. So he is probably worth a top 10 pick, but a top 5 pick is probably a bit of a reach. That's the best way to describe Greg Rousseau.
Yeah,
That's where we
do
could
get
trade
Rousseau,
down, couldn't we?
I think it's that thing of you bring in Rousseau and then you have a mentor for him, someone like John Abrahams. You bring him as like the defensive
when we had
line
3
mentor.
1 year or whatever it was.
Well, we've got Stephen. That's good enough, isn't it?
Stephen Means. One of my mates who's like a diehard Steelers fan, so he watches Red Zone or Steelers every week. So he watched Falcons once against the Chiefs because obviously they wanted us to beat the Chiefs. And he was actually like listening to the commentators calling out these players, and he tweeted me, he was like, "Josh, I've literally never heard of half your team." He was like, "How bad is your defense?" I've literally never heard of half of them. I was like, "How do you think we feel every week where we to cheer for some random guy picked up off the practice squad?" So sort of I can't even think of who our fourth choice defensive tackle is at the moment. Is it still Senate or Senat, however you pronounce it?
Yeah.
And what's happened to Davidson? I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't exist.
Crocs.
I've never seen him.
Did he play? Did he play today? Did he have
Apparently,
many snaps?
He was shut up, but I didn't see him do anything. I've literally never seen that man in my life. So.
Because I think we said I think it was one of the first things on one of the early ones. It was like he was on the COVID list to begin with, and then sort of came back. And was he injured before the start of the season as well?
He was injured and then got put on the COVID list. He was playing catch up all year, but the thing is, even in games, you tend to see something, a spark. Reason why there was taken with, in his case, a high pick in the second round, but he's not done anything. He struggled with fitness all season.
Yeah. Well, do you think it was to do with the off season not happening in terms of games as well?
It's quite possible. Quite possible. I mean, look at.
And also, he's a slightly large defensive end, isn't he? I'm sure he's athletic, but for defensive ends, he's quite a big lad. So to have no off season to get up to speed as well, he's had a tough hand. I'm not writing him off by any stretch of the imagination, but it sort of sums up our luck that one of our not main players, but our exciting draft picks just not here for the entire year. Then what's our other defensive end? Kaminsky or something like that? It's just we've got so many defensive ends who are just all diamonds in the rough who never turn out to be diamonds. We're like, we need to stop. All our players just seem to be projects on the defensive line. We've got like Grady Jarrett, and that's it. Everyone else just looks like, oh, they might come good. You can't really have a defensive line of people who might come good.
Ironic is that when it was the draft, April 26th or whenever it was, I heard the AJ pick and I was like, oh, God damn it. Because, I saw him in the national championship game and it was destroyed. And that was first college game I watched last year because I didn't watch much of it last year. I was a bit busy with stuff going on. But I saw him get destroyed, so I was like, oh, bloody hell, he's going to get destroyed in NFL against better receivers. And then I saw Marlon get picked, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good. Because I saw his highlights at Auburn. But it turns out it's vice versa.
I think this is why I think the pre-season friendlies are very important. I think as fans, a lot of fans don't enjoy them or whatever, but I think I don't mind them because obviously I'm quite new to the NFL anyway. But I think for the rookies and for the people on the edge trying to come in, I think the pre-season friendly is very important for them.
Yeah,
to get them up to scratch, especially.
I think we've got. What I've got to think is we've got 10 picks already this year. So let's just say hypothetically we do trade down to like the 10th pick or whatever, whoever has that. Do we want picks for this year or next year? Because we've already got 10 for this year. So do you want to then stack up again for next year so we have 2 big drafts, or do we want to have an ultra big draft this year?
I suppose that's what you get for comp picks because it depends who leaves in free agency.
I think we've got like 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th and maybe like 2 in the 7th. It's something like that. We've got a normal 1 to 4, then 5 to 7 is just packed.
I think it's that thing. Use some of the picks this year that we've got to potentially package and move up if we need to. If there's a player available, if someone like
in the second or third again,
if someone like Travis Etienne's available, end of the first, or if we think we can get him early second, do that. I think we have to be a bit bold in this draft.
People, do wonder what outside the first, because obviously no one, let's be honest, we all like to debate or argue on the, I say debate, we argue on the group chat till we're blue in the face, but no one has a clue where we're going to go in the fourth pick, or let's just say we are fourth, because there's so many holes to take, and all the players, like the talent of the rookies don't match up to potentially the pick. Some people say draft it, but let's say, what other positions do you think we need? So we need running back. Do you think we'll draft high on a running back, or do you think we'll just go some couple of fourth or fifth round guys? Like,
I think it depends depends who's left, doesn't it? If it's like Najee and
We're going on running back, I think.
Stick with Ito. Ito looks alright to me.
You need more around it. Brian Hill's going to be a free agent. Todd Gurley's going to be a free agent, as we know.
Ito Smith looks alright to me. Don't give him the ball.
Ito Smith looks pretty decent.
Running back regardless.
Yeah, Allison, what's happened to he was like a monster, wasn't he? Like he would be the third down kind of. Yeah, what's happened to him?
Yeah. I've not seen him for ages. I think he's been inactive recently.
He's only shirted up once, hasn't
he? Yeah. But it did some.
But you don't hear anything. Season, I don't think you hear much. I think.
No. Did some at the Falcons.
I think it'd be good side.
Hill run. Everyone's like, secretly thinking, can we get the loss to get the fourth pick? And then our third choice running back is making an 85-yard run down the sideline. I was like, oh, here we go. Todd Gurley can't buy a yard, and our third choice guy go for 85 yards down the sideline. I was like, oh, great.
Didn't think about the roster next year. We've only got like 29 players on the roster, or something like that, heading into free agency. So those 10 draft picks, we might either trade down. I don't see us trading up in any way. I don't see us being particularly bold like that, because we've got a lot of holes to fill. Not necessarily major holes, but some holes to fill in regards to depth.
But this is my education now. So when they could become free agents, say the rest of the Falcons team who are free agents now, with our season that's gone so well this season, I mean, who's going to sign them? Who's going to sign those people? So do we give them a minimum contract and they stay and they hopefully improve? Do they? I don't know. Did we just bin them off? I don't know how it works, if I'm honest.
I think there'll be a lot of players who we're just going to offer the absolute minimum and say, if you want to stay, you stay. If not, we're not asked if you leave. Because you need obviously 53 odd players, so you can't just let everyone walk. But I think there'll be a lot of players we will give them the literal basement offer.
But that might work in our favour then. That might work in our favour, because they've not ripped up any trees, have they? Nobody's going to become. Or a lot of our there's a couple of free agents now people might want, but there's not many who are going to come in and say,
"Oh, yeah." Like backup players aren't exactly going to be demanding much attention.
No.
I think Keanu O'Neal's going to be one, isn't he? He's out. I
think they should keep him. He's done all right this season for me.
I'll keep him on a team.
Depends how much he wants, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll keep him on team friendly purely because, as someone who's like known people, like my young brother's like had similar ACL injuries, and I know how funny they can be. As someone who's had back-to-back like knee injuries, so I don't want to be offering him the entire earth just for him to then go down 2 weeks in. So I wouldn't mind keeping him. Like, the injuries aren't like the end of the world. I just think we can't offer him as much money as he might be worth, just on the basis that it's quite realistic he could go down at any time. Because knee injuries, you're never 100%. Like, I know a mate who used to play rugby league at a decent level, and he's never played since, and it's been about 6 years because his knee's just never been 100%. Knee injuries just don't recover properly. So you need to be careful of how much you offer him versus how much you want to risk, because he could easily go down at any point, even like no contact. They're just that sort of injuries. So,
but isn't the whole cap next year? That's under review as well, isn't it? So if they keep that low, then we can offer low. So
there's different reports, because NFL.com say they expect it to go down by 22 million. But I think Chris, you said someone else was saying maybe about
Pro Football Talk reported a while ago how there's a good chance that it's going to be a flat cap, so it's going to stay at what it is at the moment. So it's like 198 million, roughly.
They're going to put this extra game in, aren't they? So that's obviously hopefully going to get some extra money from that.
And plus, Game Pass sales have been at an all-time high, apparently.
I bet they have. I wonder why.
And with NFL.com, they said there's a chance it could go down by 22 million. Not that it's guaranteed in any way.
Yeah.
They are reviewing all possibilities. But I think if it goes down, it'll only go down like 5 million or something like that, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of teams in cap hill if it goes down like 20, 30 million.
Yeah. The only positive is
Yeah, but
it goes down
just say
22
like
million.
100 million or something.
If it goes down 22 million, there'll be about 94 million over the cap. So we can all celebrate that.
How does that even work? How they obviously get away with it or get around
a bunch of contracts. They've just backloaded a bunch of contracts. Like, for all we know, a lot of that money could be Drew Brees. Like, say he has 1 year left. Well, I'm not saying he does, but just
27 million's like Brees or something like that.
Yeah, and then obviously when he retires, that gets wiped out. But there's dodgy ways to get around the cap. You could back heavier contract and stuff like that, knowing full well that player will probably retire before you have to pay that money, and you give them a tiny bonus beforehand, so they're happy. But it's just stuff like that. So, like Tom Brady re-signed his contract every season because he'll then get a bonus and stuff.
Like Ryan's contract in his first year, he signed it in 2018. It was on like 17 million a year, and next year it's jumping up to like 42.
Exactly, yeah. So it's all to do with the other players, isn't it?
He restructured it so the Falcons would have money spending free agency. That's how they got the Dante Fowler deal done.
I bet he wishes he kept that money, doesn't he?
Yeah, him and Grady restructured their deals so they got it up front in a signing bonus instead of a base salary.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Ryan's wife every game is going, that knew else we could have brought with that Dante Fowler money you gave up. The holidays we could have gone on, but you gave it to Dante instead. Oh, sorry about that.
Well, he got the money, but it was a signing bonus, so they didn't have to pay it out over the year.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think.
So I noticed most of you guys are all English now on here. Have you all been to Atlanta and watched a game yet?
Nah.
Has anybody?
I've seen them at Wembley.
Yeah, I've seen us at Wembley. Yeah.
I've been a couple of. When all the COVID stuff is, when we're allowed to, maybe 2035 or something like that. We all need to go. It's fantastic. Yeah. It is fantastic over there. Even might see them lose. I've seen them win and I've seen them lose. So it's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah, but I'll be definitely. Me and Danny will be definitely planning over to go over. It'd be good to get like a few of us to go over, because then at least you can plan it all in once. And but I'll be definitely. Yeah, it'd be definitely something I'll be looking into in the future. I think it's just the prices. I think when you're there, it's fine. The price of the flights are absolute.
The tickets aren't cheap as well, unless you're sitting the gods. But it's that. But it's just the whole experience. If you get a really tailgate on the lash, try not to look at the stadium too much. My tip is do the tour, because if you do the tour, then you see the stadium and you go wow, and then you actually watch the game rather than watching the game looking at.
That's a good point. That I think a few people mentioned that. Like, do the tour like even the day before or the morning, whatever. And then obviously enjoy the whole day with all the tailgate stuff. But it'd be insane when we're there.
It's good there's so many Falcons fans, and I didn't think there was that many Falcons fans over here, so it's good. It's good.
Do you know about America? If you went to America for like a week, I'd have to go without Iron Brew for 7 days without Iron Brew.
Iron Brew.
Have you got your Iron Brew on you now?
Well, I've just finished it.
You could probably go to the ethnic aisle in Walmart, pay about $20 for a can of Iron Brew, but that's still funny. You go to an ethnic aisle and you buy like bran flakes and Heinz baked beans. It's just incredible. Incredible. No, but it'd be good to go next year. Hopefully, we'll get some decent draft picks. And
Kyler Murray's hurt.
I know. I've seen him hobbling off. Just
questionable to return.
Titans are 3-all with Texans.
Go on, Texans.
So what happens if the Titans lose? What happens with the Dolphins? Will they still be out?
I think the Dolphins are out.
God, that must
Dolphins are in, but I think they need a lot of things to go their way. I think Red Zone was saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I
was on my phone. I think Red Zone was saying they need a lot of things to go their way, but I'm not sure.
They need
Did the Browns win in the end?
The Browns,
yeah, too.
24-22.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Bills scored 56. I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah. But all the games for Tua not to turn up, that was a pretty good game to not turn up.
Needed Fitz magic there.
Right, here is one thing. Could the Dolphins look to take a quarterback? Because Tua hasn't exactly played great, and he's not going to always have Ryan Fitzpatrick to save him.
Also, do like a Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray type deal.
Yeah, because I mean the Dolphins are going to have the 3rd or 4th pick or something like that. So could they go for a Justin Fields or a Zach Wilson?
I think if they're not fully I don't think they're fully sold on him.
I don't think they're sold on Tua.
I think it was we can't get Burrows, and we're not again 100% sold on Herbert. So it's like Tua's the best of what's available.
That is an interesting thing. That's one thing you got to look at when you're looking at Miami teams who are interested in the QB. Someone like a Chicago, or a San Francisco, they want to trade up. They'd be looking to jump ahead of Miami, and that could benefit the Falcons if the Falcons are ahead of Miami.
Yep.
So that is a scenario that is something to look at.
Because did you say? Did you put in the? I think you put in the group chat like there were multiple QBs who could potentially be released from teams.
Yeah, Jimmy G's one. It'll cost the 49ers $26 million to keep Jimmy G on the contract next year, but if they release him, it'll cost them $2 million.
I'd release him.
How much? 20 odd mil.
$26 million if he's on the roster. $2 million if he's released.
How does that work out? Like, it might be a silly question.
I personally can't see them cutting him, to be fair, or trading him.
Because he's not got any guarantees. He's not got any guarantees in his contract next year, about $2 million. So if they release him, they pay a $2 million dead cap, so virtually nothing. So they can go out and get whatever QB they want, basically, if they have a decent draft pick.
They'll probably have like 50, something like that. 40.
So they're in a position for a Trask or a Trey Lance or a Jones or a Zach Wilson if they trade up.
Do you think all these will go in the first round as well?
I think Wilson
quarterbacks usually get overdrafted, don't they? Because teams are so desperate to get their guy.
Lawrence and Fields are top 2. I'd say Wilson's probably top 5. I think Trask will go in the mid to late first. And I think one of Jones or Lance will as well. I think Jones will go, if Jones or Lance, the other who don't get picked in the first, will go early second.
Would you go for him in the second if he was still there at our pick?
I wouldn't say no.
Because I think we discussed this last week about Mac Jones being potentially a lower round, but he's an accurate quarterback. Granted, he doesn't have a cannon arm. He sort of reminds you of Matt a little.
Yeah. Replacing Matt with Mac.
Did everybody want dual threat quarterbacks now, though? That's a fashionable thing now, isn't it? We want everybody wants someone who can run.
That is bullshit. There's a difference between running and there's a difference between someone who's dependent on the run. Yeah. The thing is, someone like Mahomes, he visions himself like a pocket passer who can run when he needs to. That's the thing. Whereas some are just looking for quarterbacks who are heavily dependent on the run, like Lamar Jackson.
I'd
rather
Matt Ryan's not dual
scramble a little bit. Nah, he got a rushing touchdown today, so
he did.
He can escape the pocket when necessary, and that's the best mold of quarterback you want, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree.
Isn't it fashionable? It's fashionable now, though, isn't it? It's fashionable to have the dual
at least
threat.
Dual quarterback at the moment is Philip Rivers. I don't think I've ever seen a professional athlete slower than him. I know he's old.
Tom Brady don't run.
It is painful. Yeah, Tom Brady.
Yeah. He's 79 or something like that. By now. Hate that bloke. I hate him.
Philip Rivers, he's like 43 with like 11 kids. No wonder it's not fast.
And they're knackered.
Yeah, his knees and backs must be aching every time he has to pick all the kids up. I do like it on Monday night. Whenever he's on Monday Night Football, they always put that stat up. I can't remember who they were playing earlier in the year, but they were like, aren't they? Just random, like Lamar Jackson. 0 kids. Philip Rivers.
Well, they put the kids up as a stat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a bit harsh.
I think the thing with like as Christian said with dual threat quarterback, yes, they look to run first, but they're like literally one read and then they're gone. They're running and trying to get first downs. Whereas I like Matt. At least you know he's going to go to the third or fourth option if the first ones aren't available.
Yeah, I don't like.
Me personally, me personally, keep Matt Ryan for at least another couple of seasons at least, because one, can't afford to let him go anyway. So, and I still think he's still really, really good. He's not the. You watch all the Falcons stuff on Twitter and all that. They're all half on about Michael Vick. I mean, he's before my time. I've supported the Falcons about 8-9 years now, but Vick and all that. But he was so inconsistent, Vick. But he was, exciting to watch and before his time. But I don't know. I don't think it's right now to get a quarterback. One, because it's wrong for the cap and all that sort of stuff, and the picks. We need to get other players round Ryan and hopefully Julio, who I love.
But the issue Ryan did have is the reason some people in Atlanta are so obsessed with Vic and trying to bring in Cam Newton. If you think about the demographic of the city, they are one of the highest African American community. I think they're like 58% African American. So that's why Michael Vick was so popular, because there weren't many African American quarterbacks, and he was like a cultural icon. What they like Deion Sanders as well, because they felt like he was one of their own. And then obviously when we brought in Matt Ryan, they're all happy with how well he was doing. But when he started struggling, they saw Cam Newton, the old young African American in Carolina. He was quite cool. They were like, he's one of us. So I think Matt Ryan is unfairly always.
He's Atlanta, he's Atlanta lad as well.
He's Cam Newton, Michael Vick always being compared to him. So I suppose demographics do play a role. But look at 49ers. They drafted him in the end, but loads of fans of 49ers didn't want Bosa because of his ex-tweets and all that, and he was like massively. So demographics do play quite a big role in America. So I think I forgot who else it was.
I think it's like any sports person now. If you score a goal, score a touchdown, make a tackle, sack a load of quarterbacks, you don't care what you do.
No,
it could be you could have Osama bin Laden as your quarterback. As long as he was throwing loads of touchdown, you'd have him.
I'm
like
pretty
any,
sure
any
70-yard dimes every game then.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I'll have anybody.
Al's mate, Captain Alpha.
Captain Alpha.
I am pretty sure it's run by your mate, Captain Alpha.
Yeah.
I think one thing we're missing on is when we use Hurst or when we use our tight ends, you can see the quality in Hurst. I just don't think we use him enough. And I think as soon as we get a new.
Well, I guess we fed Hooper last year, so we clearly have plays for a tight end. Like Hooper got thrown to it all the time. Although Hurst didn't have the off season, so obviously he was a new receiver who didn't get the extra time with Ryan. But we clearly had the plays in the playbook from last year for the tight end because we threw to Hooper so often. Whereas Hurst, it just feels like for a long stretch of the season, he might as well not have been there. Well,
I think he's still on.
Mic'd up and he caught it like twice. So.
I know. I think he's still on like 600 yards, and I think he's got 5 touchdowns. I want to say.
Well, he's clearly a good player, and he's one of the tight ends who actually have genuine, like, not great wide receiver speed, but he's a lot quicker than your average tight end. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
But like he's lightning quick for a tight end.
He's a good blocker as well.
Yeah, and he's lightning quick for a tight end. Good blocker. But we just don't see.
He's got a great story. He's got a great story as well. So
great story. Can't help but root for the guy.
No, we love a story.
I wonder what happens with our receivers because we're so packed at receiver, and Julio's another one. Like even though he's getting injury prone now, and as much as people might not want to admit, he probably is coming towards the end of his career now. He is quite old.
No.
But, yeah, exactly. No one wants to admit it, but the fact is that I think we spoke about the group chat ages ago that. But why does Ridley want to re-sign contracts?
Why does Ridley always run backwards though? When he catches the ball, why doesn't he go north to south or south to north? He's always going. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
You literally.
I quite like Gage. I think Gage is going to be. Hopefully, Gage will be good next season as well.
He's been good this year. 750 yards.
If we keep him,
yeah. But Ridley,
I think we've got one of the best. We've got one of the best wide receiving corps without a doubt. I don't think that's an issue at all.
We're almost perfect at drafting wideouts. But crap at drafting
Just
everyone
unfortunately, we haven't got an offensive line or a running game that really helps him. So.
Or offensive coordinator who's any good. One of them.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be gone.
Against that first game against the Saints. It was Mahomes' debut, and Ryan obviously didn't have the best game of his career, but not one receiver was ever open because firstly the offensive line gave Ryan about 1.5 seconds to throw a ball.
What was that, 9 sacks that game?
The play calling was so average, but the DBs were just stuck to him. It was painful. Yeah.
But I think with our receiving core, I think everyone knows our first two choices are Julio and Ridley when Julio's fully fit, and then it's that the third option. Like Gage has been really good in the slot, I think, this year. All things considered. Granted, he's had a few issues with drops, but overall he's been solid. I think it's that thing. It's all about building. It's all about building trust.
Here is the thing about Gage. He came out of college and he was brought in to be a special teams guy, brought in to be a gunner, who was molded over time. His development in 3 years has been very, very good.
Yeah. I like him.
He's what I love Julio. Justin Hardy would be. God, Justin Hardy.
No Justin Hardy disrespect on here. Great player.
We've still got.
I think we'll keep Treadwell, who we got from Minnesota when he got cut by Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think we can keep him and see what he can do in a full.
See, he didn't do it tonight, did he? But he normally comes on and just catches the ball for a touchdown. But he had one tonight, and he's like, "Where's he come from?" But he nearly did it again tonight, and he didn't. He's like, "Where's he come?" He's literally come. He just thrown him on, and touchdown.
At least we could all celebrate that this year in the NFC South. Matt Schaub and Drew Brees are both leaving. They're great.
Yeah.
No more Matt Schaub and no more Drew Brees.
I mean, who do you reckon's going to be our backup quarterback then? So he's going to go.
Might give it
Schaub.
to Kurt guy.
I think either way we'll draft. Either we'll draft one, either if it's high up, or we'll draft a late rounder. That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I could play backup.
Yeah. But Matt Schaub was like the highest paid backup, weren't he? He was on insane money at one point.
I wouldn't hate if he was at OC. I would not hate it.
But all that matters is we've got Koo, and we hopefully will never watch that Cutter again. So
yeah, Cutter's got to go. He's been.
So obviously, I'm 99.9% sure he'll go, but there's still a bad part of me that thinks that Arthur Blank will want to, try to keep the ship stable or something like that. So
we did that last year, didn't we? I mean, I was all for it last year when they kept all the, how we finished last year, and they kept that, that everybody being the same, and then, I mean, if you think about the start of the season, the amount of games we should have won. Could have been so different this season. It was like
7 losses under 6 points or under.
I know, that's crazy. I mean, the Cowboys game, and I mean that onside kick was just, and then Todd Gurley scoring a touchdown when he shouldn't have. I mean, you think, Christ Almighty, what kind of teams am I supporting?
That's the only thing he's going to be known for.
I know.
That's the only thing he's going to be known for in Atlanta.
At least he hasn't got a bad knee anymore. At least he hasn't got a bad knee anymore. He's got a scoring a touchdown when he shouldn't have. Gosh, he's like bloody. You couldn't make it up. And then when they had that mic'd up, and they got Matt Ryan telling him, "Whatever you do, don't score a touchdown." And then he's it's a Falcon.
It is
so
enjoyable.
it's like alternate commentary gone wild.
Yeah, can you get penalised for scoring?
I think the most Atlanta Falcons thing of all time is that image of the defenders celebrating and Gurley with his head in his hand. Gurley was like, "No, not a touchdown." And the defender was like, "Yeah."
He did. He almost pushed him. He pushed him in, didn't he? He was like, "Wait."
It was
I
kind
thought
of
the
like
defender was going to join our sideline and start
with,
celebrating.
Seattle and Kansas City, CenturyLink, as it was known as. Mahomes had an intentional grounding, but it was dismissed because Eric Fisher had a false start. So all the KC offensive players were surrounding the refs doing the false start signal.
You want to cry.
Yeah, well, I've decided because I'm doing dry January this thing, I'm not going to drink until the Super Bowl. And that feels like a very long time away now.
Didn't need anything.
Set out the goal of don't drink until the Super Bowl and have a few, maybe have a mate or two around it, but no longer a tier 4.
Nice job, Pep.
Guardiola masterclass.
Yeah, everyone loves Pep.
All
we need is Pep.
Who's everyone's? If we go on to that, who's everyone's pick for the Super? Well, who's everyone's pick for the NFC, and then who's everyone's pick for the AFC?
John Stones. That's how. John Stones has been best centre back in Premier League this year. He has. Yeah, I'm not joking. He has been amazing.
That's not the NFC or AFC, though.
We'll introduce
AFC. I can't go against the Steelers. I mean Steelers. Sorry, and the Chiefs. Sorry, I was talking to my mate a minute ago. Steelers fan. Can't go against the Chiefs. And NFC. God, that's just a complete
Packers.
Packers are. Aaron Rodgers is having a disgusting year. His stats are just horrifically good. What's something like 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions or something? That is just horrific.
That's what happens when you draft. That's when you draft a quarterback to replace you. So let's get a quarterback into Atlanta.
Get Fields in, and we'll have a 2016 Matt Ryan again. It's just a bit impressive that the team that got to the Super Bowl last year was our ex-offensive coordinator, and the best team in the NFC was our quarterback coach. So we're doing well. Everyone talks about Andy Reid's coaching tree. It's the Atlanta Falcons coaching tree now. We're providing everyone else their coaches.
I mean, Falcons were unofficially the best team in the NFC last year. They beat the Saints. They beat the NFC champions, 49ers. So unofficially the best team in the NFC last year.
So who's going to win the Super Bowl then? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to play in the Super Bowl. Everyone seems to go for the Chiefs, so I'll freshen it up a bit. I'll go for the Bills in the AFC. Love the way Josh Allen's playing. Love the way the defense is playing. Sean McDermott has done probably the best job in the NFL. To think that team was atrocious when he came in, to guide them to the playoffs in the first season, and to maintain that progress is just amazing. So I'll go for the Bills for the AFC, and in the NFC, I can't look any further than the Packers.
And who's going to win it?
I'll go Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers get his second ring.
Yeah.
I don't want them to win it. It's only because I have a mate. I don't want the Saints to win. I don't want the Bucs to win it.
From the East.
I want the football team to win it. I want the football team to win it. I love Alex Smith's comeback story.
Yeah. Well, the fact that Eagles have benched half their starting offense is, I think Washington got a half decent start.
So they've got nothing.
Why is that game kicking off late? Like, why is it as one? Is it still off TV stuff?
They wanted prime time, but they didn't know Philly was going to rest half the team.
Ooh. Who do you think, Cal? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Washington.
I was just going to say the Chiefs, but I think the Bills in not the last few weeks, but I think they've just got better and better and better. And I think that would be the. Will it work out as them two playing each other in the championship game? I don't know if it will. Will it?
No,
probably.
I'm not sure, actually. Chiefs and Bills. I think. I thought you said Chiefs and Washington for a minute. No idea why. Chiefs and Bills could play in the championship game. Yeah.
If that's the championship game, I think that'd be a fucking cracker to watch.
It'll probably be a slugfest now.
I know.
Thanks
on
on
the NFC side,
Browns next week. Oh, that'll be a good game.
Oh, again. Bloody hell.
Steelers Browns.
In the wild card, and they absolutely hate each other. That'll be a good game.
Ravens versus Titans or Colts, and Colts versus the Bills. Or Colts versus the Bills.
I think it'll be the Titans winning because I think they're winning at the moment.
Yeah, they're just going ahead.
Titans
And the
versus
Bears are
Ravens.
not making the playoffs either.
Unless they beat the Packers or the Rams lose.
If the Rams, if Bears still got a win though.
No, I think if the Rams lose, the Bears are in.
No, because the Rams are on 9 wins, ain't they?
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Someone said to me.
Oh, because the Cardinals, 8 for 7.
Yeah.
Shall we do us a favour and quickly check the Juve score, Juventus? I've got a bet on, and I'm using my phone. I can't check this. It should finish ages ago, but I'm using my phone to go on this, and I can't check the score.
They won 4-1.
Oh, there we go. I won about 50 quid. So, cheers, boys.
There we are. Drinks on, Josh.
I was hoping someone was going to give a good speech about John Stones, but I love to be disappointed.
I think I'm going to sign off now, boys. Pleasure as always.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up now anyway. So, thanks for
All
watching. Thanks for coming on.
All the best, boys. Have a good one.
All the best.
All the best. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.